You've probably called yourself lazy at some point, maybe today, maybe right before you open this video. But here's the thing nobody tells you. Lazy people don't feel guilty about not getting things done. They just don't care. If you care, if you want to do things and still can't, that's not laziness. That's something else entirely. And once you understand what it actually is, the fix is completely different. So let's start with the real definition of laziness, because I think we've been using the word wrong. True laziness means you don't have the desire to do something, and you're fine with that. You're not bothered. No guilt, no discomfort, no inner tension. But most of the people who call themselves lazy, they're not fine with it. They feel awful about it. They want to do the thing. They make the list. They set the alarm. They tell themselves today is the day, and then they just freeze. That's not laziness. That's your nervous system sending you a signal, and we've been ignoring it. Here's what's actually happening. Your brain has a threshold for stimulation. Think of it like a cup. Every notification, every scroll, every email, every piece of content you consume, it fills that cup. And once it's full, your brain cannot take on anything new, not because it's lazy, because it's full. And here's the brutal irony. The more you try to push through when you're in this state, the more you reach for something stimulating to cope. So you open TikTok, or YouTube, or you doom scroll for 45 minutes and wonder why you feel worse afterward. Let's talk about dopamine for a second, because this is where it all connects. Dopamine is not the pleasure chemical. That's a myth. Dopamine is the anticipation chemical. It's what your brain releases when it expects a reward. And here's the problem with modern technology. It's been engineered, literally, by designers and psychologists, to trigger dopamine hits every 10 to 15 seconds. Your brain is getting what someone on Reddit described perfectly: 900 tiny dopamine snacks all day long. So what happens when you sit down to do actual work? Actual work doesn't give you a dopamine hit every 15 seconds. A report takes 45 minutes, a workout takes an hour, writing takes focus. Your brain, trained on constant micro-rewards, looks at that task and goes, nope, not worth it. It's not that you don't want to do the work. It's that your brain's reward system has been recalibrated. That's not a character flaw. That's a calibration problem. And calibration problems have calibration solutions. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because most dopamine detox advice gets this completely wrong. I'll tell you why in a second. How do you actually know which one you're dealing with? Here are 3 signs that point to overstimulation, not laziness. Sign number 1, you can do low-effort stimulating things for hours, but can't start easy tasks. If you were actually lazy, you wouldn't do anything. But overstimulated people can scroll for 2 hours straight. They're not avoiding effort. They're avoiding low stimulation. Boring tasks just don't deliver the hits. Sign number 2, the start is the hardest part, not the doing. It's the initiation that's broken. That 10-second window between deciding to do something and actually doing it feels like lifting a boulder. That's your overstimulated nervous system screaming for something easier. Lazy people just don't start. Sign number 3, you feel mentally exhausted without doing anything meaningful. This one hit me hard. You can spend a full day consuming and end the day feeling more tired than if you'd run a marathon. That's not rest. That's your brain sprinting in place, constantly processing something. That's overstimulation fatigue, and no amount of discipline fixes that. It's time to understand how to fix it. Coming up next, the solutions. Quick pause. If this is resonating, hit subscribe because I cover this kind of thing all the time. The gap between what we think is wrong with us and what's actually going on. Okay, back to the fix. So now that we know what we're dealing with, what do we actually do about it? First, let's talk about what doesn't work, because this is where most people waste months. The typical advice is, just do a dopamine detox. Put your phone in a drawer, delete your apps, cold turkey. And look, reducing input is the right idea. But going from 900 hits to 0 creates withdrawal-level discomfort. They last 2 days, relapse, feel worse about themselves, and now they're back where they started, plus shame. That's not a solution, that's a crash. Here's what actually works. Step 1, build tiny, quiet pockets, not long ones. You don't need a silent retreat. You need 5 minutes before your most important task where you put the phone away and just sit with the discomfort of boredom. That's it. Boredom is not emptiness. Boredom is your brain recalibrating. Push through those first 2 minutes of withdrawal, and your attention starts to settle within 8 minutes. Step 2. Add friction to your highest stimulation habits. You don't need to eliminate them. Just make them harder to access. Log out of apps. Put your phone in a different room during focused work. One person described it perfectly. Make it 2 or 3 taps instead of 1. Friction gives you half a second of awareness, and awareness is where change starts. Step 3. Give your brain a boring win first. Do one completely boring physical task. Wash a single dish. Make your bed. Walk to get a glass of water. This sounds ridiculous, but it works. Your brain needs to transition from high stimulation to low stimulation mode. That transition resets the nervous system. Step 4. Stop calling yourself lazy. This is actually the most important one. When you label yourself as lazy, you're diagnosing yourself with a character flaw, and you can't fix that. But when you recognize overstimulation, you have a functional problem with a functional solution. And functional problems feel solvable. They feel manageable. That shift is the difference between spiraling and starting. Here's the bottom line. Laziness and overstimulation look identical from the outside. Both result in nothing, but they have completely different root causes. Treating the wrong thing is why you feel stuck. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not lazy. You're overstimulated, which means you're treatable. Start with 5 minutes of quiet before your most important task tomorrow. Not a full detox, just 5 minutes. See what happens. If this made something click, I'd genuinely love to know in the comments. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.